town hall meeting. The reason we call this town hall meeting is because I heard concerns of the residents on Hillcrest. We are working on this project since 2017. So I was assuming that everybody knew what's happening on that street, which is going to be a good thing for all the residents in the city and for all the property owners on Hillcrest. It's going to bring the property values up. It's going to look beautiful. It's going to emphasize what we're trying to accomplish, that this is a walkable city. We're less than a mile long. We wanted to be able to live here without having to own a vehicle. Having Gentleman Street, having a bike lane is going to connect to Hillcrest. And Hillcrest is going to have wider sidewalks for people to be able to walk safely and also ride their bikes. So thank you for coming. We're going to have a small presentation by Nick, and then we're gonna pass it over to the city engineers so they can explain a little bit more. If you have a question, uh, general question, not a specific on your property, then you're gonna have time to ask that question. If you have a specific question on your property, stay a little bit longer and then we'll go one-on-one with y'all, okay? So at this time, the people handling the right-of-way acquisition were not able to be here, but if you need to talk to them, because they're the ones negotiating the right-of-way acquisition, I can arrange for them to come and meet with you personally, okay? So just let me know. I'll give you a sign-in sheet, and we'll work with your schedules to schedule a meeting with them, okay? At this time, I'm going to pass it over to Nick.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nick Ibargüe. I'm the Community Development Director. We'll go over kind of a brief background of the project, the scope, and then kind of how we landed here today. Because, like Maria said, we've been working on this for about 9 years. There's been many directors, many staff, many different elected officials that have been part of this project, and we're kind of here at the tail end of it, trying to close this out. So, um, without further ado, can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So, a little brief background here of the city. As y'all are all aware, we are a very small city here in Balcony Heights, right? 0.6 square miles. We're home to about roughly 2,700 residents, based on our most recent census in 2020. The project that we're looking at here is a text dot and an MPO project that is Hillcrest Drive, right, from Babcock to Fredericksburg Road. Um, if anybody drives on Hillcrest Road, it is in very poor state right now, very poor condition. I oversee Public Works Department as well, and we are frequently every 3 to 4 weeks filling in potholes because the street is deteriorating, very rapidly here. So the way the city kind of assesses roadways and their conditions is a PCI score, which is a pavement condition index. Our most recent PCI scores were back in 2016, and at that time, it was assessed as from different sections of a 10, which is a complete failure, all the way up to a 60. And with speaking to our engineers here, PCI scores kind of degrade 1 to 2 points per year. So if we're looking 10 years ago at some of these scores being between 10 and 60, they've only gotten worse since that score came out here. In addition to kind of just what you're able to see on the surface, right? These potholes, deteriorating asphalt, sidewalk, all that. We have very aged utilities, right? The sewer beneath the road was set in 1965, has not been updated since then. Gas is very old. Water is very old. Those power poles are very dated, right? So much of our utilities out here are very old. So with that, back in 2020, 2021, the city finally decided to start looking for funding options because this roadway project is very expensive. It exceeds the amount of available funding that the city has, right? So they sought some sort of grant opportunities here with the city engineers success. So through them we decided to apply for an STBG grant, which is a Surface Transportation Block Grant through the Alamo Area Planning Organization. And from there, they were awarded the grant. So, can we go to the next slide? Again, here's a loose timeline. Started working on it in 2017. 2020 started looking at these options with the city engineer. 2021 is when the city started receiving these letters of support from various kind of entities, right? ACOG, which is our Alamo Area Council of Governments, received a letter of support from Bexar County Commissioner Justin Rodriguez, State Senator Jose Menendez, and via transportation, right? It's not just the residents that we're kind of servicing here, but all of Bexar County is who we service, right? Because although we're a city of 2,700 residents, many people travel along this roadway. We're looking at about between 12 and 14,000 cars that are traveling down this road every single day. And it's not our residents driving down, 5 and 6 times. 2021, that's when we finally submitted this grant, and we're awarded from there. 2023 is when we finally executed that advanced funding agreement with TxDOT. Right, that's our commitment to make sure that we're going to complete this project and start going on designs. Right, here we are to the present. Right, 2026, 9 years later. We're still ongoing with the project, still ongoing with designs, acquiring right away, which is why I'm sure a lot of y'all are here tonight, right? Design, utility coordination with SAW, with CPS, with AT&T, making sure that all of our utilities are going to be new and they last a long time, right? Can we go to the next slide, please? So just to give a brief overview of the project, right? Again, the bounds are between Babcock Road and Fredericksburg Road. It's roughly, I want to say, about 3,300 feet of length. It's not a long roadway, right? But it's probably one of our longest roadways here in the city. Go to the next slide, please. Here's a couple snippets of kind of how you're going to see the project laid out. If you want to later on, you're going to be able to see this a little bit more zoomed up. Here in the back of the room, it's posted the full length of the project. You'll be able to see different areas of acquisition, but you also see the dedicated turn lanes that we're going to be putting in at intersections to improve safety. There's many upgrades that are kind of being brought on. I believe if we go down maybe 2 or 3 more slides, we'll see the improvements here. Fantastic. So ultimately, the goal is not just to kind of inconvenience anybody, because that's not what we want to do. We want to make sure that we're ensuring that there's safe roadways for everybody. We're ensuring that this works for not only residents, but businesses here and all of Bexar County, like I said, right? We're not the only ones that use this road. Many people use this road every day. So there's going to be construction of a 10-foot wide shared use path. That's going to be our sidewalk, right? So it's no longer going to be 3 to 4 feet in sections. We're going 10 foot in width. That's going to allow us to have multimodal transportation, which is going to be walking, bike, increase more traffic flow for visibility for these businesses, right? Again, dedicated turn lanes at key intersections. This is going to improve traffic flow. Many people think that Hillcrest is 2 lanes just because of how wide it is. It's not. Currently it's 1 lane either way, right? So we're trying to make sure that there's dedicated areas where there's these turn lanes to make sure it's safer for everybody. There's less frequency of accidents, right? There's going to be a dedicated via bus stop pad. This is just going to ensure that you're not going to be stopped by the buses, right? And there's a couple bus stops along Hillcrest Road. They'll be able to turn off, and you can go right past them, right? Traffic flow is going to be much better because of this. And then median markings, right? As you drive down Hillcrest, I don't think these lane markings have been touched up in many years, right? We're going to make sure that they're visible. You can clearly see, what is a lane, what's a turn lane, what's a refuge for somebody walking across, right? Where are the crosswalks, ensuring safety not just for cars but for pedestrians, for anybody accessing any part of Hillcrest, whether it's the sidewalk or the street. Touching on utilities again, brand new gas, brand new water, brand new sewer. We're trying to reduce any maintenance items that may come up in the future, because again, sewer is very old. Many of these are very old. If y'all drive right now, sewer's been torn up in the past week, just because of the age of the infrastructure, right? Once we start getting these new utilities in, we're not going to have to dig them up for a very long time. And to kind of add on to that, the utility is going to be brought out of the street. They're going to be put under the sidewalk. So if there are any maintenance items that do come up in the future, which again we hope there won't be, but if it does happen, it's just going to be one sidewalk closure. It's not going to be any traffic lanes that are going to be closed there. But this is just a brief overview. I'm going to turn it over to our engineers just to give any more detailed information for y'all.
I've seen in this presentation, but either way, we're good here. So, I mean, Nick did a very good job of covering the overall scope of the project. There are some other things, subsurface system, underground storm drainage. TxDOT has regulations, Texas Department of Transportation, for drainage. So we will be putting in some inlets to help improve the drainage, get some of the water flows off the street down into the systems, to meet the state requirements for design. Teaming partners such as SAWS and CPS have, SAWS has really done a good job trying to come in here and start working with the city to help offset some cost. And this roadway, the section that we're providing, as Nick talked about, we'll be reducing the width of the road a little bit, because if you've driven it plenty, you know that people kind of drive wherever they want to and turn wherever they want to. So we're trying to fix some of those things, clean it up a little bit, make it safer. The sidewalks will be a definite improvement for walkability, getting connectivity for pedestrians, crossings, those type of things. Trying to think what else. The road will be concrete. Right now you have asphalt out there. The city's very fortunate. I have been on this project since the planning phase. It's been a while now. Miss Janet Thalen, I don't know if you know her. We were back on it when this started out, actually putting in the information to get selected running cost estimates and trying to find the solutions. And the road is proposed to be concrete. The reason that went forward, or is proposed to go forward, is to have the longevity. There's nothing wrong with an asphalt section. We can design and engineer a good asphalt section, but having concrete can increase the longevity of the pavement section, and it just helps with drainage. There's a lot of benefits to that. Therefore, like the water main, which is within the road right now, we're moving that to what we call the parkway, which is the area between the back of curb and the right-of-way line. If you notice, you've probably seen, like I have throughout my career, somebody will go build a new roadway, and then 3 months later, they're out there tearing up the road to replace the water main where there's a leak. So we've been working with SAWS. They've been great. Our plans are 95% done with SAWS to move that water line out from under the road. Services will be encased, so that way, if there's ever, the water lines eventually will have an issue, even more so than your sewer mains. The sewer mains are going to be upgraded as well. The thing is, there's a lot newer technology and stuff that really helps, where we can pipe burst and do different types of replacements. So the sewer main will still be out in the roadway area. It's just that your other utilities, we're trying to get them into the parkway. Power pole relocations, working with CPS Gas. CPS Gas is under design currently. Again, we're trying to get all these items moved out from under the road. Power poles, we have new turn lanes that are going to be going in, and so there's power pole adjustments. You have to work with AT&T and CPS. Those are the major ones that we coordinate with on that. Trying to think. I don't know if in our exhibit we stopped just short of the Babcock intersection. We don't go into the intersection, we stop right at it. Nick, I don't know if it's on any other slides. There are some minimal signage improvements. Well, I mean, there are basic traffic signage improvements that will be going in, but We have a landscape architect on the team that has provided some renderings for us to allow people to know that you have arrived. And something like that. It's not set in stone right now. This is preliminary, has not been designed. All this has to be approved by TxDOT, but it allows people to realize that they have arrived at Balcones Heights. You see these they're a little different, but you can drive over into Leon Valley. There's different areas. I designed a roundabout many years ago over at Lowwood Summit area. What is that, Babcock Road? I think that's Babcock. So there's things like that that allow a little bit of design enhancement just to improve the area and let people know that, hey, I'm in Balcones Heights now. You know, because right now you drive through it and you really don't know unless you're really around here. Ma'am, we'll get to questions in just a few, if that's okay. I just like to hold them all till we make it through here. And we can go back to any of these. Joe, is there anything that you see that I haven't covered so far?
No, I think you covered everything pretty well. Went over all the infrastructure, the pavement section, turn lanes, shared use path. So I think you got everything pretty much covered.
And I'm sorry, I don't know if we introduced ourselves first. I am Jess Swain with Success Engineering, Vice President.
Joe Cantu with Success Engineering.
He's also another Vice President, and we have Juan Barrera over here. Juan's a young engineer working on our project and learning all he can. So I guess at this time, if there's any questions, might open up some new topics. If you have questions, we'd ask that you please come to the podium. That way you can be heard well by everybody.
Hi, my name is Heidi Robinson, and I live at the apartment complex next door, Boston Woods Apartments. And I've lived here at this point for a little over a year. And I was wondering why we can't have our IDs and driver's licenses. I have a Texas ID that's still valid, and I was wondering why we can't have it actually say Balcones Heights, Texas, instead of San Antonio.
We can address that after the meeting.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Do we have any more questions?
Hi, I'm the acupuncturist in the Balcony Heights. And I have a question oh, thank you. You're quite welcome. So, I just have a question about maybe, I don't know, is it Maria Hernandez? Maybe later we can talk about why the project need to have a left turn. So I have a.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Is that your question? Why we need left turns?
I have a few questions.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
there's a, I just observed the traffic. Actually, there are not many people turn to the Crestview. So typically, I'm like, how the design need to get into my property 10 feet more than all the other business owner.
Right.
Yeah, so that's my first question.
Okay. How about we address that one then,
Sure.
and then we can go to the next one. So when we look at these roads, like right now, you know, I don't know how old this road is. It's probably a lot older than me. And you look at it, and like I said, there's cars out there kind of driving. It's essentially a one-lane road each direction. And right now the cars can go. You could pass somebody in one lane. There's enough room. And so what we do, we're narrowing that down. We call it traffic calming as engineers. You know, what's your posted speed? 35 out here?
I think so.
So, you know, now people don't always follow those speed limits. But as we narrow it down, traffic calming, improving the curb lines. And so as traffic goes along here, you may be behind a via bus. And so we have via bus locations where we're trying to get them out of traffic. But it helps when you're an engineer and you're looking at these roads, we're looking at environmental concerns, we're looking at traffic flow. I mean, you can see, you may only have a car an hour, you may have two cars an hour, but sometimes that car, if you just had a single lane each direction, they could back up. You may get a time at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you get a bunch more cars coming, and then you can't make a left, and so you may stack 5 or 6 cars up behind you. So the reason we do these little turn lanes is to store 1 or 2 cars at a time to help get them out of traffic. And yes, ma'am, there are some lots that needed a little bit more room than others. It's just for safety. It's to help the drivers. It's to help the environment where you don't have cars sitting there a long time. It's just longer to running their emissions, those type of things. And that's how we look at it as engineers.
Yeah, I think I discussed with Gloria earlier before. I don't know if the possibility it become like a if we come from Bandera Road to the Fredericksburg Road here, there the their area has like a three there's a left turn, right turn lane in the middle. Can we do just like that to let the traffic easier to turn? That's just
I
my.
think-
Means a continuous.
I think, is she
center
meaning the
turn
ones
lane.
that big, huh?
I
Oh,
think you need a
continuous center?
Continuous center turn lane. Is that what I'm understanding? Continual left turn.
I think I don't know what's going on with the project, and she's the one that advised me about it. So we've just been talking a little bit. Yes, I'm sorry. And her property's right at the corner of Crestview and Hillcrest. So I think her property is going to be infringed upon because they're going to have a little turn there, I guess a turning lane, or we're not really sure
Left
how that's
turn.
going to work.
Yeah.
Left turn I mean, I'm not sure where the turning lane is actually going to be at. And we were wondering, is it going to be in the center? Like, is it going to have turn lanes for both sides, or is this going to be just widening the Balcony sides because the other side is City of San Antonio? So we're not really sure how that's going to work.
I think on
Is there
this
like
one,
a
since it's
picture of it?
specific, we have the one back behind you that we can, after the meeting, specifically for your location. Right now, these plans they're pretty much, we're moving forward with as designed right now. So that's why, as Ms. Hernandez noted, it's in the right-of-way acquisition phase of the project. And that I bet we can look at it after we get done, so I can maybe explain a little more detail on your site exactly. But there's been years of thought put into this and where it needs to turn and how it needs to occur. But we can look at that after the meeting.
Yes, I have another question. The Maria told me that we already have a funding for this project. But my question is just 2 weeks ago, a week ago, there's a construction block, the balcony, on the Hillcrest, the sewer. And I have no idea what's going on. And my neighbor has to ask me, well, I'm okay with that because that day I'm off. So use my parking lot. Because the two houses of business there, the entrance totally blocked. So this is just a little project. How about now is the road constructions? They can be like a month, even
Well, it's going to be horrible.
right.
I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't met one person in the last 26 years doing engineering that loves construction. What we have to keep in mind is being positive and looking at the end goal. I mean, for a project like this to come along and get the funding out of the MPO to compete, when we go in for these projects, we're competing against projects all across the state, to get this funding. And if you drive this road right now, it might be a little bit rough, you know? And so sometimes we have to put up with a little bit of pain, just like going to the dentist. That's the way I look at it.
What is the longevity of the project?
This project could last 2 years.
2 years?
I'd hate to see it do that, but it could.
Just gonna add on traffic control. So with these plans, they also have traffic control plans with them. And so what that is for the contractor to always provide access to these lots, right? So between the phases of construction, we have special notes in there that they can't restrict access in and out of your driveway. And if we do, we limit it, right? So they have to give notification to the resident or the business owner and say, hey, we're going to be working on this block. Try to keep access in there and work with you. But there may be times where you might not be able to access just because of constructability purposes.
Which means that my business need to close down for like a few months.
Well,
No,
actually, what
no.
we'll try to do, and actually, we appreciate you all coming out tonight. For one, this is great to ask questions and let us know, because if we can solve those problems now, we don't want you losing money. We want you to keep working. So as long as we can work with the contractor, there's ways at the end of the day, they'll come after they fix some stuff, they'll put temporary asphalt there to keep cars coming in. Even throughout the day, we may have to have specialized traffic control to help keep your business running. That we understand those, but with you coming here, you can pinpoint exactly where your business is, because we're still a ways out from construction. And so as we have pre-construction meetings after the project's bid and we meet with the contractor, we're like, look, these are businesses here, and we can pinpoint them and work with the contractor. And actually, as we go through the process, we also have construction inspectors that will be on the job watching it. One of ours is really good. You'll get to know him well, but he's an advocate for you, so he can help you and stuff like that, talking to the contractors and everything.
So when it comes to like the utilities, if they shut down the water, they'll give us enough, like a day's notice, 2 days notice, because I know she uses water for her business, and as we do as well. You
Yeah.
can't have color on somebody and then all of a sudden you can't rinse it.
Can't
off.
rinse their hair
Yes,
out.
exactly.
Yes,
So-
ma'am.
The heat lamp on, and then suddenly, suddenly the CPS said, we are going to shut down.
Shut the power. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that will they be courteous enough to let us know ahead of time?
Oh, yes, ma'am. There'll be door hangers.
Okay.
As the project gets started, we have meetings with the contractor. On a project of this size, we'll probably have another, kind of like this meeting, I call it a here we come meeting, to notify the citizens, to let y'all know, okay, in 2 weeks, we're going to start doing this. Now, we won't have tons of these big meetings, but we'll have that. So all that are invited can show up, and weigh in, and we'll say, okay, this is your contractor. They'll have their main representative there. We'll be there, city representatives, the inspectors. So you get to see these faces, kind of like us today. There'll be times you'll see Joe or I are out walking the project, looking at it.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate
I think the city's seen it. We've been doing some roads here over the last 5-6 years, and we try to communicate with council. We try to communicate with the citizens, and the city's come a long way road-wise. I'm not gonna. This is going to be a difficult
Yeah.
imposition for a while.
And it looks,
So-
the images that you quickly glance through look very nice. I mean, if that's, like you said, like when you go to Alamo Heights or Almost Park, you know that you're there.
Yes, ma'am.
So that, I don't see why our little city here, our entity, even though I'm not a resident here, it would be nice to see that, to be distinguished.
Yes, ma'am.
Because a lot of people I don't think they respect that. That's
Right.
just the word I'm going to use.
Well, it's good to know where you are. I mean, like you said, just driving through the other cities, and so you have arrived. You know you're here. Sorry, we kind of deviated, ma'am.
I have a final question. Is because I have some friends live in Houston, and then the project actually went on like a few years, even nothing happened, but the detour sign's still there. And then I asked them why. They say later on the funding didn't continue. So I don't know. That's my question. Is the funding is already totally funding, or like can be like a late town in the
Like
middle.
delayed. I guess
Delay,
she's
and then
asking.
late town, extend like 5 more years. And so the business can
Okay.
be struggle there for another quite a few years, so.
This project is it's a MPO, Metropolitan Planning Organization project, right? And so it's an 80-20. So we get federal money that comes in at 80% and then 20% local funded. Now I know that your local representatives council, your city manager have been working hard to also find other ways to add in additional funding. This project has been approved for a long time by council and had the support. Um, as far as funding, I can tell you, I know your city manager and she's sitting here, but I know she's been digging around really hard, working with other agencies to find additional money to come up with the local funds, which saves the local taxpayers even more money. So I think you have a lot of opportunities when it comes to that. Now, as far as the longevity of a project, there can always be complications. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It could flow smoothly. I've seen plenty of projects go just fine. I would never promise you that something bad wouldn't happen. Uh, Knowing the utilities that we're working with, the pre-planning, the checklists that we go through, we try to find all those surprises, right? But we also, as we go through and prepare for the construction process, the contractor selection, we really grill the contractors. We make sure they have the right bonding capacities. We make sure by asking them the right questions that they are prepared to handle this job, that they have the expertise to provide the construction experience, the staff, the recent local projects. Like, we don't want to just grab some contractor way off and say, come in here and tear up Balcones Heights. We don't want that. We want other contractors, and we'll work with TxDOT to find those that have been vetted even previously, that have good resumes. Joe and I, as we get the bids come in, we look at that. And then as we get into construction, over in Leon Valley, how many years ago? 9, I don't know. It's been a long time ago. We put in some big boxes there because that area in the by the community center flooded all the time. And there was a gas main that the contractor put at the wrong elevation and had to be adjusted. So it took maybe an extra month and a half. But the key is having active engineers, kind of like we are here tonight, right? We're here to explain to you what's going on, and we carry that through the process. We design it, we're actively engaged, we're communicating with city staff, and that's the best communication in anything. Just like tonight is one of the best things you can have to keep a project from going on an extra 5 years, But as far as the funding, that'll all be lined out before this gets rolling, because TxDOT is going to make sure of it, and so is your representatives and your city staff. That's my opinion. Miss Maria, you got anything on that?
No, we are looking for more funding, and also we're gonna push that this project goes fast. It's been on the making for 9 long years. So
When do you think it's gonna get started?
we are trying our best to start fall of 2027. Okay, so this
Next year.
next year,
About a year from now.
a year
ma'am.
from now. So we're trying very hard to start then. If not, it's gonna have to be till 2028. Okay, so but we're trying to make it because the issue that we had with the what was it, the sewer line, main sewer line last week, that happened because the infrastructure is old, so we need to repair it as soon as possible. The other thing, please sign up on our texting messages. Roy can help you sign up. That way we can send you messages as soon as we know we're gonna close this side of the street, and we'll send you a message. The same thing with the water or the electricity, okay?
Okay, thank you
Thanks for your questions and coming out tonight.
for your answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Eduardo Garcia, 2902 Hillcrest. My concern is, I know I'm going to have access because I have access to my property on Shady View. But I spoke to several of the business owners, and their concern is that, and it's been my experience when we deal with contractors, that they don't really follow what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it, when it comes down to shutting down a driveway. For example, those ladies that they were speaking right now. What we need as the business owners is a point of contact that we can call and say, hey, you guys told us this ain't happening. We want accountability, and we want, because every day that they get shut down, if I didn't have access, I would want accountability, because every day that I would get shut down, that I couldn't access my building only by foot, then that's money that's going out of my pocket. It's money that's going out of their pockets. And that is not, that's,
Acceptable.
yeah, it's not acceptable. We can't survive off of that, off of a promise that is gonna happen. So what we would like to have is a phone number and the person that's gonna be able to, oh, I'll get back to you next week. No. Next week is not good enough. There's somebody that I called today, call them in the morning, and they'll have me an answer by the afternoon. I said, why is my front still blocked? And I see people with their hands crossed, one guy working and four sitting around and laughing and joking and whatnot, because that's what's gonna happen. It always happens. I deal with construction quite a bit. So that's why I'm here to say that I want to have a phone number or point of contact in this project that can, hey, these guys aren't doing what they're doing. Somebody put some fire under them so they can move. Because when they shut them down, that's money that's going out of their pockets, not out of the city's pockets, out of their pockets. So,
You will have our numbers. Joe and I are the senior project managers.
Yeah, along with the inspector too. We have a full-time inspector.
so it'll be a phone call to you guys and it's immediate results.
Immediate.
Okay.
I
And-
want to add really quick. In the project, there's going to be signage posted on either end, right? And that'll have the inspector's contact information on there. He's going to go door to door to give contact information like he does with every project as it is, to establish a relationship with everybody. But the contractor as well post their information out there. It's not just the company name, it's the direct line to reach that person, right? And if you can't reach them, you can contact me, you can contact them as well. But there's going to be not just one phone number, but a multitude of people that you can contact.
And before
Well, see,
we start,
that's the issue. The issue that, well, this guy didn't answer his phone. Okay, I left a message. Then this guy didn't answer his phone. Then I left a message and message and message and message. And time is money that the businesses will lose when it's time, when oh, I'm real busy, couldn't get a chance, I'm sorry, I couldn't get a call to you. I left a message yesterday, I'm sorry, I couldn't call you yesterday, I was real busy, I was in a meeting, this and that, whatnot, the other.
Sure.
There's always an excuse. That's not what we want to hear, because an excuse doesn't pay our bills.
Absolutely. I'm not giving you an excuse. How often is the inspector on site?
he'll
Daily?
be there daily.
Daily.
You know,
Okay, we just want somebody that's gonna answer the phone and not go to voicemail and give us an answer, not fluff talk, because it's not gonna work for us.
we understand.
Okay, that's all I'm asking. Somebody that's gonna answer the phone, a phone number, point of contact, and will answer the phone, and will give us results. Somebody with authority that can get results, can get these guys moving. That's all we want.
Sir, what business are you?
I'm the corner of Shady and Hillcrest, Concord, USA, 2902.
Thank you.
Funding is one of the things I'm very interested in too. I'm glad you're working it, because we have a big gap to fill, right? MPO is going to give us 6 million, is that correct?
It's close to 6 million.
Close to 6, project is 12.3, is that right?
It's closer to 10.
Closer to 10.
Mhm.
Well, that's good news, because I've been thinking all along it's going to be 12. So we got a big gap to fill, and I'm sure you guys are working hard on that. What I want to talk about, one of the things that I saw during my 18 years on council was a lack of supervision in projects. When we did Glenarm Phase 1, they came in and they poured the curb, and they had to come back the next day and chop all that out and redo it. And it was a mess. I thought we had problems on phase one, but we got to phase two. When they started that project and pouring sidewalks, they had to come back and put another coat on top of the sidewalk. But it'd been days later, and guess what all that coat's doing now? For years, it's been coming up. So we have an ugly sidewalk now. Then we had Crestview 1, 2, looked, in my opinion, was excellent. It really looked good. I do not know, and I brought this up with one of the council members, I don't know what happened in phase 3. When you get down to the curb there where it turns back into Balcones Heights Drive, it looks like they did the same thing that they did on phase 2 of Glenarm. They went back and they poured a cement mix over the top of what had already been finished, and it's cracking already now. My question is, who's responsible for that? Why do we let contractors do that? We shouldn't let contractors do that. We should have some holdout money at the end where we say, no, that's not satisfactory. And it's just gonna be a mess forever. And that's what we have on phase 2 of Glenarm. Now we got it on phase 3 of Crestview. So I don't know who's doing the supervision, but I tell you what, they better be thankful it's not me. I can tell you that right now, because I would halt what they're doing and I'd say, nope, you tear that out and you do it right before you finish this job. We have to do a better job of supervision because we're not getting adequate supervision.
I'm Tracy Ebersol. I'm at 2818 Hillcrest. I have a building that's pretty much, it's the one that has a parking lot that has, it's a low curb the whole way across my property. I have about seven parking spaces that are out there. I think you're only asking for about 3 feet. But one of the things that I don't think the picture you sent me is like the cars are all sitting there, they're all happy and everybody's parked there and life's good. The only problem is that's not reality. The reality of my business is I'm a musical instrument repair company. I have people showing up. I have the UPS guy showing up at least once or twice a day. I have the USPS guy coming and parking there in the parking lot. I have the FedEx guy coming every day. I also have Amazon trucks coming at least 2 or 3 times a day to drop off product and parts that we order. And then that's not even enough. I mean, that was just a regular day. And then the customers, I typically have 5 to 10 customers. The customers have to back in order to unload baby grand pianos, console pianos, powered speakers. Some people pull in frontwards, some people have to back in. My only thing is, if you're gonna take 3 feet of my property, I hope you'll give me some red cones or something like that I can just stick in the street to block off traffic so that these people, like if a U-Haul truck comes in, they gotta back in. I mean, you're taking the property. Right now, my property works great. I mean, it's just the right size. I mean, you take 3 feet, and then I got people parking with their cars in the back street. I got pictures of all the different things. I know you said this was supposed to be for the business betterment of the businesses, but I don't think you're considering mine. I think this is more of a case of inverse condemnation, and that you're taking property ahead of schedule, and I don't think you've analyzed my business properly. And my lawyer sent you a letter, so we should be hearing back soon.
A question for you. Have you received your certificate of occupancy? Because that will have addressed the parking situation in your business.
I don't know about a CFO. I didn't even know there was one. I already have a CFO for the one business.
You have the one for your business?
Uh-huh. It's hanging on.
Did
the
it
wall.
address the parking situation?
No, it's been there since 2001, so I doubt it. So, I mean, that's all I know. I mean, I have another business that's there right now, but that's a t-shirt business, and that guy comes, I think the FedEx or UPS guy comes at least once or twice a day for him, every other day or every couple days. So I don't know, I got a high traffic business, you're gonna take 3 feet of my property. I mean, I got all these trucks and stuff, you start banging up the cement, you're gonna just kill me. That's why I say you might as well just buy me out. That's kind of all I got.
Thank you.
Good evening, Juan. I had one of the residents wanting some information. We'll discuss a little bit later concerning the elevation of the sanitary sewer system. I know a couple of properties are on lift stations, and just I guess we can figure out if there's any room to eliminate some of those lift stations. And I guess we'll study it at a different time. Just wanted to voice the comment.
Are you aware of any on?
Do you have the addresses for lift station? We were not.
I'll get them to you after the meeting. But that was the only concern that I got from the residents that called me to ask information. So, thank you.
I mean, if there's a need for a service to be added, that can be done with this project.
Okay, thank you.
If it's viable, if it can gravity flow to the main.
Perfect. And that's what they're looking for, trying to get away from the lift station to be able to go gravity flow. Thank you.
Will there be any enhancements for the school crossings and school over on the San Antonio side, on the Balcony side? We've got Baskin, and there's very little signage for speed control on Hillcrest for that school. Will you be enhancing?
You got it.
So, as far as you talking about like crosswalks and that sort of thing,
Crosswalk signage, maybe lit signage to let them know that they're in a school zone?
yeah. So, where's the school zone on this one? Okay, if it's on Hillcrest and we have signage, we're replacing it. If we're lacking signage, we'll add it. We do have a crosswalk that we're adding near City Hall, just down the street. It'll have signage for
Isn't there a
pedestrian
bull nose?
crossing.
Is there a bullnose crossing too?
Yeah, there's a bonus.
See, a lot of times by narrowing the roadway a little bit helps, but there's some areas where we have the raised curb and we call them bull-nosed areas. That kind of provides a safe haven. It reduces you don't reduce the distance you're walking, but you reduce the distance of open areas. So there's some areas where pedestrian starts on the side and you can walk out to the middle and you have a curb that you're behind. It helps a little bit. This is an arterial roadway, gets a lot of traffic. But yes, sir, there are some improvements, to signage as well.
Hello, my name is Aaron. I'm resident of Balcony Heights and I live along Hillcrest. Easier. Thank you all for being here and thank you all for hosting this. If we're looking for more information, where might we find that regarding this project? Like the presentation that y'all put on, will that be available for us to review and look at later, or the project design?
You can contact me afterwards.
Okay.
We'll talk, and then I'll give you my email. You can reach out to me.
Wonderful, great, thank you. Regarding the state of the project, we haven't put it out for pre-construction yet. We don't know who the contractor is. Okay. Do the limits for constructability of removing material and doing the improvements for the relocation of the lines, is it every 8 feet is where they're going to put a plate and that's all they're allowed to do per day, and then they have to come back and fill and relocate? Or do you know how much of the road will be shut down for different sections for each phase?
We can't tie a contractor down that much. What we do have traffic control phases and we do have orders of work, which are in our full-on construction documents. We would want to certainly do 8 feet if a contractor is capable of doing 300.
Okay.
I mean, we don't want to shut the road down, so that will be part of the traffic control. But there are segments of water line, of even the sewer that get done in greater segments than that. So,
Okay.
and as far as the road, we really can't control a contractor's means and methods.
Yeah.
Full on, because obviously we want to get them in there and get done.
Mhm.
So if we limit them too much, it hinders the contractor, so.
But so I do construction management and project management up in Austin, and the city of Austin has their own requirements. Every city has their own legalities, and so I'm kind of in the city of Austin. We're not allowed to open up a road in a main arterial way larger than 8 feet per time, so that it gives for traffic control purposes. I didn't know what the requirements were for the balcony heights, and I was just curious where to find more information on that.
We'll use text dot district standards is what we'll do.
Okay.
Yeah, we won't follow Austin. They're a lot more strict, I
It's
think,
very stringent.
sometimes than
It's very stringent.
what
yeah.
we want to be. We might, I said 2 years, we might be 3 if we use something like that. But we'll use text dot district standards. We also sometimes use City of San Antonio standards as design guidelines and specifications.
Okay.
So those are our standards.
Thank you. In regards for the sidewalk improvements, it's going to be, you're saying 10 feet wide, or that's 10 feet combined with bike lane?
It's 10 feet combined, I think, on most sections.
Well, 10 foot one side. 4
Yeah,
foot
10 foot on balcony side.
It's a 10-foot multi-use path, so it's, you share it with pedestrian and bicycle traffic, right?
And separated with a line of paint?
No. So that's separated with a vegetated strip. So
I
you'll
see.
have 3 foot from the curb line, no, maybe about 4 or 5 foot from the curb line, 10 foot, and right away. Other side, you have a 5 foot sidewalk. So you'll have a 5 foot on the north side, 10 foot on the other side.
Okay. And all of these would be on the plans that I'm.
Yeah, and there's some
Correct.
typical
Yes.
sections there on the bottom of the plan.
I just hadn't been able to see them,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
thank you.
That's a schematic. It's going to show everything, but it's a schematic drawing of the limits and some of the line work on there.
The traffic flow or the road's only, it's gonna remain as one lane either way with a turning lanes.
Yeah, left turning movements at some of the intersections, you'll notice that. And that's why I think it's at Glencrest where, because of limited right of way, we had to push it out to that side
I see.
to keep that left turn. The reason why is like Jess explained, we want to keep traffic flow moving as best as possible. People slow down, people, at intersection that could back up.
I assume the speed limits will not be increased, or they're gonna remain the same? Wonderful. And then in those locations where, will there be added crosswalks at that location as well?
The only crosswalk we're adding right now is right here at, is it Glenarm? City Hall. You'll see it. I can show it to you later.
I see. So the two other locations where there,
We don't have anything proposed because of, the kind of limitations with the intersection and the direction that the existing pedestrian traffic's flowing right now.
So I'm grateful to live on Hillcrest, and we are kind of at the front row of it all, and we see a lot of people who are in wheelchairs and they're trying to cross in that direction. And so I was hoping to see some crosswalks in those two areas, just because.
What was the two areas?
I'm sorry. I can't actually read the names from here, but
You can talk later. You can show me.
be happy to. Just from living there for a couple of years, we've just been able to get to know the neighbors, and it's very well used as a walking space. It's one great thing I love about it, and I just don't want to lose that through this project. So, thank you.
Any more questions? Okay, then, you can come.
Everybody's time a little more. I just have one question is, because it happened to me, like when they do the construction on the Crestview, the sidewalk, and then the company, they put a lot of equipment on my yard. It become like a messy. And then someone break into my office. And so my question is, because when the construction can be very like chaotic on the street, would be possible to ask the our police department can like, how you call that, control? Yeah. Monitor that, because we saw a lot of people, like some people have a mental issue, or the homeless people walking by a lot. So in that case, when they're doing the construction, sometimes it's even worse. Like people can want to transport more. That's my concern. It did happen that someone break into my office. Yeah. Thank you.
She told me that when that happened, when they had the construction on Crestview, correct?
Right.
Yeah. All the construction equipment was parked on her property. And she wasn't aware that they were gonna do that. They just did it.
Yes, I didn't got any
No notice.
no notice at all.
So she was okay with it, but then somebody broke into her property, and that's,
This, yeah,
she's by herself.
yeah, the stuff put in there almost half year, like messy for half year, and then someone break in, so I have to repair the stuff, and then I appreciate my neighbors who come to help. Otherwise, it can be very, very dangerous. Yeah, so thank you for, if you can, the police department can help this. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's no more questions. No more questions? Well, on behalf of the city council, I'd like to thank Maria and the staff and the engineering firm for doing this for the residents. As we can see, it was very well received. Our residents did have questions, they have concerns, and I'm looking forward to getting the response from the team and guaranteeing our residents that we're gonna do as much as we can, our residents and our business owners, to make sure that we have minimal impact on their operations. So that is my commitment as part of the council and the council's commitment, that we're gonna work effectively and efficiently to minimize the impact to your businesses. Thank you to everybody who participated, and thank you to the panel for hosting this and giving us some insight as to what's happening.
Okay, stick around so we can answer your questions one on one, okay?